Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into a really unique way of looking at the Qur'an. We're not treating it like a history text, but more like a living operational protocol, a kind of code for reality itself. Right off the bat, the source material we're digging into makes this incredibly bold claim. It's basically telling us to stop seeing this text as just a record of the past and start seeing it as an active guide, a program that's meant to be run right here, right now. Okay, so let's really lean into this idea for a minute. What if this book isn't just something you read, but a code you're meant to run? A set of instructions that if you execute them correctly can literally change the way you interact with reality. So let's explore what that program actually looks like. First things first, every good piece of software, every good protocol, is designed to solve a problem. And in this system, the main glitch, the central bug we're trying to fix, goes by the name Dāwūd. So let's get this straight. Dāwūd isn't some monster or an external enemy you have to fight with swords. No, it's any authority that doesn't come from the one true originator. Think of it like all the illusions, the faulty social systems, even those little idols inside our own heads that demand our focus and just drain our energy. The whole point of this protocol is to dissolve it with pure logic, not with force. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It shows the two competing programs we can choose to run in our own lives. You've got the script of Tagut on one side, which runs on fear, desire, and illusion. And on the other, you have the Book of Truth, which runs on proper orientation, reality, and law. It's like a fundamental choice between two different operating systems for your own consciousness. So how do you actually debug the system? How do you get rid of this Dāwūd? Well, the source material gives us a solution, a kind of anti-Dāwūd protocol, and it says the perfect demonstration of this is in the story of Ibrāhīm. Now, this is a really key shift in how we think about this. The process we're about to look at isn't some beautiful poem or a myth. It's presented as a lawful, completely predictable chain of verses, a logical sequence that, when you follow it, is designed to produce a very specific and repeatable outcome. And here it is. The 5-step algorithm that the source calls the anti-Tagut protocol. This is really the heart of it all, so let's just walk through the logic. Step 1, you take the book directly. Step 2, you use it to correct your orientation. Step 3, doing that activates your inheritance. Step 4, now from that position of strength, you can expose the false authority. And finally, step 5, that exposure neutralizes its power. See how each step just logically flows into the next? Let's break it down. So the protocol doesn't start with a big fight. It starts with a simple but incredibly powerful diagnostic question. Ibrāhīm just looks at the authorities of his time, the stars, the moon, the sun, and he applies this one single line of code, a simple law. Anything that sets cannot rule the heart. Anything that's temporary, anything that rises and then falls, well, it fails the test. It gets debugged from the system. All right, so once you see those temporary authorities for what they are, flawed and fleeting, the next logical step is to reorient. You turn your focus, your entire being, towards the one constant in the equation, the one thing that doesn't set, the originator of everything. And right here, this is the crucial link in the whole chain. According to this framework, that single act of turning your face isn't just you stating a belief. No, it's a legal move within the system of reality. By aligning yourself with a fundamental law of the originator, you legally qualify to inherit reality itself. It's presented as a direct, lawful consequence, not just something you hope for. But wait, there's a prerequisite. You can't just jump into this. The source points to this verse as a kind of hidden key. You can't start this process with empty hands. It all begins with the command, "O Yaḥyā, take the book with strength." So what does that mean? It means establishing what the source calls a book-first consciousness. It means you're engaging with the code directly, bypassing all the junk in between, the inherited dogma, the social pressures, the secondhand interpretations. This direct connection is like the authentication key that makes you eligible to even run the protocol in the first place. Now we get to see how this all comes together. Ibrāhīm's act of breaking the idols, it's not just vandalism. It's presented here as this brilliant logical trap. By leaving the biggest idol standing and then blaming it for the mess, he forces the system to reveal its own powerlessness. The real witness here isn't the people watching. The witness is the inevitable collapse of Tagut's own flimsy logic. So, what happens when you actually run this protocol successfully? You've questioned authority, you've reoriented yourself to the source, and you've set up a logical witness against falsehood. What's the result? What's the payoff? Well, think about it. What happens when any false authority, any Dāwūd, is backed into a logical corner? When its arguments completely fall apart, it only has one tool left in its toolbox: brute force. Coercion, pressure, fear, all of that is symbolized by fire. But here's the amazing part. Once the protocol is complete, once the logic of truth has been firmly established, that fire, that tool of fear and control, it no longer has any legal authority over you. Its jurisdiction is completely void. And this is the result. We said, "O fire, be coolness and safety upon Abraham." The source argues this isn't some random miracle that breaks the laws of physics. It's the lawful, predictable consequence of running the protocol correctly. In this framework, the fire couldn't burn him because, legally speaking, it had no right to. Its power was nullified. Okay, let's zoom out for the final piece. How does this personal algorithm, this individual protocol, fit into the much bigger picture? The cosmic system. So the source material paints this picture of the universe as a kind of self-focusing optical system. The idea is that reality isn't random at all. It's built on these coherent, lawful structures that the source calls triadic lattices. It's almost like a geometric grid that governs how everything unfolds. The protocol we just saw isn't a standalone trick. It's designed to align you with this fundamental cosmic structure. And this slide, wow, it actually maps this whole cosmic process onto specific figures. It shows what it calls a lawful triad. First, you have Yaḥyā, who represents the injection, that function of taking the book with strength. Then you have Ahmed, who represents curvature, the pure transmission of that code, bending reality towards it. And finally, Bilqis represents convergence, that moment when reality itself recognizes the authority of the message and just submits. It's a chain of command, a systematic process for turning the book's instructions directly into physical reality. So when you put it all together, this Quranic flow is presented as a totally complete and protected system. Your actions become a permanent record, the guidance you follow leads by law to inheritance, the book itself is protected from being corrupted, and the originator is the ultimate witness over the whole process, making sure the system works. And that really leaves us with a final, provocative thought to chew on. Is the text in our hands just a history book that we're supposed to read and remember? Or is it an active, living code that's just waiting to be run? Maybe, just maybe, its ultimate purpose isn't just to be understood, but to be executed.